Well, there is one less speaker for today's lineup. Leighton is one of the most humble, one of the kindest and smartest people I've ever met in the coffee industry. He's a coffee professional with 20 years of experience on his belt as a green coffee buyer, as a roaster, as a book publisher, as a business leader. He currently he's a co-founder and partner of two very famous European specialty coffee roasters, 3FE in Dublin and Drop Coffee in Stockholm. And he, together with his life partner, Joanna Alm, who also happens to be a green coffee buyer and a roaster, they live in Sweden. And in my eyes, they, together, between themselves, they have the biggest amount of coffee expertise a married couple can have.
So please, ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to Leighton.
Sorry, I haven't done this for a while. I've forgotten what I need to do. I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. Must do the presentation. Michael, I'm going to have to give a large amount of money to for that introduction. Kind, I think he said. I think he said humble. I'm not humble. Weird, yeah. James said to me earlier that I didn't need to work on my weird. I'd got enough. So just stay as I am. But yeah, I've been in the industry now for just over 20 years. And lots of different markets that I've been involved in, and lots of different things that I've done. And I've got to have a little bit of a warning here. I'm a big hypocrite. Everything I'm going to talk to you about today, I've probably done, I probably will do in the future, just, you know, do as I say, not as I do. Coffee cannot be sustainable and have zero impact on the environment. It is impossible. It is completely impossible for us to ship a product from the other side of the world, to roast it, to put it into packaging, to sell it to consumers. It just can't happen. But we have to do more. Particularly as a green buyer, there are so many things that I can do to make a better impact. We need to talk about the elephant in the room. There is so much CO2 burned in getting coffee to us and getting coffee to a consumer. We have farming, trucks, we have boats, some people even air freight, we have the roasting process, and we also jump on aeroplanes to the other side of the world to go meet coffee producers on a fairly regular basis, which burns an enormous amount of CO2. And we're really feel quite embarrassed about this as an industry. You can tell in the way that we market the products that we have. We have eco-friendly, fair trade, organic, bird-friendly, dog-friendly, worm-friendly, all of the friendlies that you can possibly have. And it's because we're embarrassed about what we are doing. These brands, these terms, have a covering word for them, and it's called greenwashing. Greenwashing is where you use your environmental activities to promote the company, but quite often doesn't have a big impact at all, or is actually a cost-saving exercise that is then used to discuss what that is. It was a term that was coined by Jay Westervelt in 1986, a leading environmentalist, and has really been adopted by the industry. And a proper description, I'm not going to read it out to you, you can read it while it's up there. But it's basically PR trying to cover up the embarrassment of a company to make financial gain from that. And I was trying to wrap my brain, it's like, what is worse than coffee to market, to sell? What would I really not like to sell if I was, you know, environmentally aware and understand the impacts of that? And bottled water. Bottled water comes out of the ground, falls out of the sky, but we put it in bottles, and we ship it all around the world, and we have plastic that takes 250 years to degrade and come down. Yet we still buy it. I have bought some water in the airport as I was coming here and kind of really thought about, oh, God, I'm going to talk about this. Again, hypocrite. When we can just get water out of taps or we can get water out of the ground, out of the sky. And the worst offender for this was Fiji water. So Fiji water, if you don't know it as a brand, is water from Fiji. So they bottle it at source, which they're very proud of. And then they put it in container ships and then send it all around the world. So it has a really big carbon footprint on it in their plastic bottles that they're burning all up there. And they went through an advertising campaign that was, every drop is green. Your Fiji water helps reduce carbon emissions. It helps reduce. You drink the water and they come down. It's remarkable stuff. And protects the Fijian rainforests. Wow, protects them. How does that happen? And there are a number of examples of Fiji Water's marketing. Anybody from Fiji Water here? I'm really sorry. But it kind of sucks, because if you dig just a little bit deeper, 47% of Fijians do not have access to clean drinking water, yet we're shipping this water all around the world for us to consume. And we're not perfect. In fact, we're really, really far from perfect. Back in 2019, I did a Instagram at Boxing Day, congratulating myself on my 127th flight of that year. I hadn't heard of flight shaming. I found out about flight shaming very soon after I posted that thing up there. And I had this belief. I started in the coffee industry in 2003, 2004, and I had some idols in this industry of Jeff Watts, and Dwayne Sorensen at Stumptown, Darren, and all sorts of people who were flying around the world buying coffee, and that was the cool thing to do. So that's what I did. And the impact of a flight has many times more impact than some recyclable packaging. I tried to work out on my calculator how many bags we would need to recycle for a flight to Africa or to Central America. And my calculator couldn't work it out, but it's times tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of bags we will need to recycle to offset any of that CO2 for that economy flight, and I'm not going economy, to origin. And we burn fossil fuels in our roasters. We burn fossil fuels to make the coffee that we're all drinking. We burn fossil fuels in the aeroplanes. We can never, ever fix that. And unlike the kind of fair trade and organic, and I'm talking specifically specialty here, is we've kind of shunned those certifications. You know, we're about quality, we're about relationships, we're about making sure you get the best coffee. What James was talking about earlier, if you go onto any website and read the About Us, you know, we are environmentally aware, we source the very best coffee, and that simply can't be true. But we cover it up with things like eco bags. We've got these bags that will compost, and I'm so bored of eco bags. Like, I want them, we need them, we have to do them. Stop telling me about them, just do it. We're in 2022, and people are arguing about, our bags are compostable. Well done. Welcome to 2022. That's what we should be doing. And we've replaced those other certifications with B Corp certification. Now, I'm not here to bash B Corp. I think B Corp is a fantastic organisation. If you don't know, they are a certification body that will come in and assess your company and will give you benchmarks to then begin to improve. This has to be a good thing, right? We want people to be aware of the impact they're having and how they can improve. But the huge problem with B Corp is that people are doing it for the wrong reasons. People are trying to get B Corp certified so they can tick that box that the fair trade and the organic and the bird-friendly, dog-friendly, whatever-friendly did in the past. It's just another way of ticking the box and saying, look, we do that. Now, I'm not saying everybody that goes for it, but I got a leaked email from one company that isn't certified yet, but is going through, that were very proud of their email footer that they'd made that said B Corp, and they couldn't wait to get it out there. That doesn't seem like a really good motivator for me to be going for that kind of certification. And then you see all sorts of reports being produced by a lot of roasteries now that are kind of how much energy we saved, how much we did there. Like, great, good. I'm really happy you're doing that, but stop telling me about it. It's fine. Just do it. Get on with it. And then we think as roasteries, our work is done. So we've done the things that we've turned the lights off when we've gone home, we've knocked the heating down a couple of notches, we've filled in a few reports, and we're all done. You are going to let me go out to the barbecue tonight and not beat me up for this, aren't you? Please. I'm really a nice guy. Come talk to me at the barbecue, and I'm not so angry and ranty. And then sustainability goes to the farmer. Now, 50% of the CO2 emissions that are produced in coffee production start with that dude. So it's all that dude's fault. He's got to get his stuff together. So green buyers go to farms and say, you know, you need to do this. You need to make sure that your workers are paid properly. It'd be really nice if you opened a school for the kids as well, and maybe a shop, and you know, maybe we can do something with the housing and some electricity and all the rest. And oh, let's talk about price. So you know, we paid a bit much last year. Can we maybe come down a little bit? And that's the conversations that really happen at Origin. I've seen them happen. I've travelled in groups where the green buyers will go to coffee farms and say, tell me about what you're doing here. What are you doing there? And they'll be writing it down or recording and taking video. And so they're not paying for that. They're just like saying, if you don't do that, we're not going to do it. Very similar to the days where roasters would go to Origin and insist on people being organic certified or rainforest certified or whatever, and expecting the producer to pay that. And there's a real imbalance on what's happening here and what the expectations are from the green buyer buying from the coffee producer. And it's time to change. We have to have a call to action. We're all fully aware of the climate emergency that we're in. Living in Sweden, that I have for the last 18 months, 2 years, you cannot open the news or a newspaper without the climate emergency being talked about. Greta, I mean, Greta's everywhere. I saw Greta actually protesting a couple of weeks ago near the government buildings. She's very small. But we have to act now. We can't keep talking about it. We actually have to start doing. Forget the eco bags, the B Corp, forget the reports, forget all the wonderful things that you're doing. I don't want to know. I want you to actually just go out there and do something. Now, if you want to go and get B Corp certified and keep it secret, that would be my favourite kind of B Corp certification. So, what is the answer? What do we do? I've come up here and I've ranted and I've shouted and made fun of Greta being small, which I may regret even when my girlfriend sees this. But we need to focus on our actions, not our words. Our words are empty and hollow if we are not actually doing those things. So, 127 flights in 2019. So far, well, I mean, the pandemic kind of had a bit of a helping effect on that. But my flights have really come down. But I am in Germany, so my name is Stephen Leighton, and I went on an aeroplane 22 hours ago. But I've been clean since then. And my actions are that there is not a chance on this earth that I'm ever going to do 127 flights in a year. In fact, I've spent 2.5 years in Sweden, and my coffee roastery is still full of coffee. I still have a fantastic supply chain, even with the whole emergency going on with container ships. I still have coffee, and the coffee producers are still producing coffee. In fact, they're actually doing more because they're no longer my chauffeur and my entertainment manager for the evening when I go. So they have all of that time to focus on growing coffee, which is what they're meant to do. We need to reduce the CO2 that we're using. We need to put pressure onto coffee roasting manufacturers, and I mean, Probat have taken the lead with that, with the hydrogen thing that's going on, but also espresso machine manufacturers. Everybody within that chain, we need to put pressure on to make sure that we reduce our CO2. We need to reduce the amount that we fly. We're allowed to come to these conferences still, but we're not allowed to go to each one. So you have to promise me that you'll actually like go, maybe I won't go to the other one that I'm going to go, but come to the Probat one because it's cool. But also, we just have to look for the most simplest of ways. Is you could recycle 100,000 coffee bags. It's going to have absolutely no effect if you then go to Origin for a photo opportunity at every time that you can. We're never going to make coffee better. We're never going to make coffee more sustainable. It is just one of those things that is, it's always going to have an impact on our environment, but we have to reduce that impact as much as we can by paying more and taking more responsibility for the CO2 that's created at Origin, helping producers by giving them more financial assistance, and forget the seed prices going up and the market's high. The market is way too low. We should not be paying the prices that we pay for coffee. We should be paying a hell of a lot more. It should be a luxury, not a commodity. And it will become a luxury, not a commodity, in the coming years if we don't act. And as always, we're better together if we actually work together and stop being in our little bubbles of the roastery, the farm. Then we can actually make real impact. Sustainability, as we all know, is everybody's responsibility. Sorry for the rant. Thank you for listening to me. We can go to the barbecue and we can have beer really soon. Thank you very, very much.